All right, I'd like to call the Town of Hebron Town Council regular meeting to order at 7:00 p.m. For those willing and able to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That brings us to item 3, additions and changes to the agenda. Dory, do we have any additions and changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair. Today we received the wet signature on the Hebron Board of Education resignation. So if we could add that as 6A, is what I would suggest, but I'm open to.
Sounds great to me. Any objections?
No objection. Nope.
Not ready?
Good.
Do that. Any other additions or changes?
No,
No.
thank you.
Any other additions or changes from the council?
None.
All right, hearing none. I'll move us to item 4, which is public comment. This section of the agenda is reserved for persons in attendance who wish. You have an addition or change to the agenda?
I apologize.
You have an addition.
This is the official posted, right? It wasn't. Do we need to add the executive session
It's on the third
It's on the
page.
3rd page.
after the liaison? Got it. I'm not used to this many pages. I saw liaison. I thought we were done.
We are not done. All right, item 4, public comment. This section of the agenda is reserved for persons in attendance who wish to briefly address the town council. The council requests that a person's comments be limited to a single period lasting 3 minutes or less. While the council respects the right of the public to provide comment, this time is not intended for open discussion or a council response. Residents who wish to request a dialogue should make arrangements to do so through the town manager's office, the council chair, or other members of the council. People wishing to comment online should type comment and your name in the chat box and you will be recognized. As always, we will start with in-person public comment first. Is there anyone in person who would like to make a public comment? Okay. Then online, I see our first public comment is Rob. You can go ahead and unmute and just state your name and your street address, please.
Hello, Rob Poudre, 31 Mile Road. I'm going to be very brief. Excuse me. I was hoping to get some clarity on the town manager search. Item 8I indicates that the consultant met last week with the search committee. I know you can't answer my questions now, but I hope you can address them when you get to that item. Is there a formal town manager search committee right now? If so, who is on it and when was that decision made? If there's not a formal search committee, when do you plan on establishing one? And who is the consultant currently reporting to? As you know, I know you know, this is such an important decision. It's also a tremendous opportunity. I feel strongly that members of the public should take part in the search committee, which I believe is the practice for the Charter Revision Commission, as well as the CIP committee when it still existed. So please consider adding at least 2 members of the public to the formal search committee. Thanks for hearing me out. I look forward to hearing your answers when you get to that item on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other online public comment? Okay, hearing none, we are going to move along. So we have quite a few items today under Good to Know Special Recognition, which is exciting. We have a few Eagle Scout recognitions. And so I understand that we have Jacob in attendance here today. Okay, great. So Jacob, I don't know if you mind coming forward so I can just read a little bit here for the council so we can acknowledge you. So I'll just read directly from the letter that we've signed for you. Dear Eagle Scout Ammerman, on behalf of the town of Hebron, it is with great pleasure to write this letter in recognition of your designation as Eagle Scout with Scouts BSA Troop 28. This is a tremendous achievement in a young person's life. The students of Hebron Elementary and residents from all over Connecticut can enjoy the nature trail and the space that the outdoor classroom provides because of the hard work and planning that you put into repairing and cleaning the space. Your Eagle Scout project will benefit the town for years to come. We appreciate and honor your hard work and dedication to Scouting America and the town of Hebron. So thank you so much. Do you want to provide us with any more details about your project for the council and how long it took? And I know it's a tremendous undertaking.
My project over at Hebron Elementary took longer than expected. But there's benches down there that I've gotten help from the carpenters here in town with their wood, and they also helped me. They also lent me their shop too to also work.
Right. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. This is a tremendous accomplishment. I believe Dory said I can hand this to you now.
You sure can.
So you can come on over.
Do you want a picture? Yeah, that could be a nice little photo.
I think I mean, the picture with the whole council would be great.
That would be terrific. I think.
Sure.
So come on over, round and back. We'll have you stand in the middle here.
Yeah. Hey.
We'll open this up. This is where I have my communications training, I guess.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. A lot of hard work.
It is all hard work. Then I have two more recognitions here for Douglas Fellman. And so I'm going to read those into the record as well, just so they're there. So we wrote, Dear Eagle Scout Fellman, on behalf of the town of Hebron, it is with great pleasure to write this letter in recognition of your designation as Eagle Scout with Scouts VSA Troop 28. This is a tremendous achievement in a young person's life. The Gilead Congregational Church Garden of Remembrance is a significant outdoor setting that offers a quiet space for honoring memories, personal reflection, and coming together as a community. The revitalization project you led will enhance the beauty of the space, while the addition of the two outdoor benches will allow for an inclusive space for visitors of all ages. We appreciate and honor your hard work and dedication to Scouting America and the town of Hebron. So that is for Mr. Douglas Fellman. And then we also have another recognition for Mr. William Kemp. Dear Eagle Scout Kemp, on behalf of the town of Hebron, it is with great pleasure to write this letter in recognition of your designation as Eagle Scout with Scouts VSA Troop 28. Our historic cemeteries act as symbols of Hebron's culture and heritage, as well as providing a place of reflection. The Jones Street Cemetery was active from approximately 1777 to 1934 and holds 170 markers. The cemetery cleanup you organized, including brush removal and gravestone cleaning, will ensure that these historic markers remain accessible and protected. We appreciate and honor your hard work and dedication to Scouting America and the town of Hebron. So congratulations to all of our Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
This year.
Congrats.
Wonderful work. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Oh, are you here? We
Just
have to,
representing them.
would you like to, you can say them? Yeah, if you'd like to say some words as well. I'm sorry, it's hard to see past
yeah,
the TV.
I'm from Troop 28, and I've worked with these scouts, and they did quite an organizational feat to pull it off and to make it the way it is. It's beautiful. And the gravestones, they needed their due respect, and they got that. So
Wonderful.
I appreciate all your time.
Well, thank you for your work as well. Thank you. Okay. And then last but not least, we have our Pride Month proclamation. Oh, hold on. Yes, sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Hand it down.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I
Gotcha.
okay.
There you go.
Go back
Thank you,
that way.
Dory.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
got it. All right.
All right. We're just swapping out folders here.
Yeah.
This guy's my eyes when I can't see. I get very focused. So last but not least is our annual Pride Month proclamation. Claudia wrote an excellent Pride Month proclamation. And I'm just going to say that in light of some pretty hateful comments that have resurfaced in a recent state representative race, which is deeply concerning that that's happening in the state of Connecticut, or anywhere for that matter. I think this proclamation is more important now than ever. So thank you, Claudia, for writing it. And I'd like to ask my vice chair, Jan Lawrence, to read it into the record.
Town of Hebron observes Pride Month, June 2026. Whereas the town of Hebron recognizes the month of June as Pride Month,
commemorating the historic Stonewall riots of 1969, which sparked the modern LGBTQ plus civil rights movement. And whereas Pride Month serves as an opportunity to celebrate the contributions and achievements of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer questioning LGBTQ plus individuals in our community and beyond. And whereas Hebron observes June as a time of honor to honor the LGBTQ plus community and reflect upon the important contributions of LGBTQ plus residents to the town and the United States as a whole. And whereas the town of Hebron recognizes the values, the diversity of its residents, promoting inclusivity, equality, and respect for all individuals, and whereas by acknowledging Pride Month, we affirm our commitment to fostering a welcoming and supportive town, free from discrimination and prejudice, where all our residents can live, work, and thrive. And whereas we remain vigilant against continued discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community, and whereas we affirm our support for our LGBTQ plus residents and commend the efforts of the local LGBTQ plus organizations, activists, allies, and community members who work tirelessly to advance the rights and well-being of LGBTQ plus individuals in our town. Now, therefore, we, the Hebron Town Council, hereby proclaim June 2026 as Pride Month, and we encourage all residents to join us in reflecting on the progress made while we endeavor to continue building a future of inclusiveness and acceptance for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All righty. Bringing us now to item 6, appointments and resignations. This is the new item that was added. So this is 6A, Hebron Board of Education resignation. Attached is a letter from Alicia LeMay, Democrat, resigning as a member of the Hebron Board of Education. Claudia, would you read that motion for us?
Proposed motion is move that the Hebron Town Council accept the resignation of Alicia A. LeMay from the Hebron Board of Education with regret and thanks for her service. Further, the Town Council designates Friday, June 12, 2026 as the posting date for the vacancy notice. The 35th and final day by which nominations shall be received is Friday, July 17, 2026.
We'll open it up for discussion.
I just want to say how much I deeply respect Alicia. She has been short time on board, really not even a full term, but her impact on the work, her impact on our community and us as the town council, board members and others has been deep. And I just want to say I respect her. She has worked very hard, consummate professional, and she will be missed. I mean, her knowledge, her experience, and her viewpoints on public education is bar none. She will be missed. So thank you, Alicia, for all of your hard work.
She was a tireless advocate for education in this town, and she will be greatly missed, but we appreciate that her voice will still be heard loud and clear.
Well said. I echo those comments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay, or if you wish to abstain. Jan Lawrence.
Jan Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
And myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Thank you very much. That brings us to item 7, the
Sure.
Yes.
I want to make a post-vote comment.
yes.
All right, 35 days, folks. You want to say in how the Board of Ed moves forward? Hebron Voice, I know 2 of you are on right now. This is your chance to be 1 in 5 instead of 1 in 10,000. We want to see people attempting to get on this board. We will pick someone who is going to help the board and help the town. It's very important. Obviously, no one wants a repeat of how this year has gone. So good candidates, dedicated candidates, people who want to have a say in how this town moves forward. It's a third of our budget. This is your time. This is your chance to get a taste. Near and dear to my heart, because this is how I got on the council. A chair got opened. I was the only one that stepped forward. I'd really like to have more than one person due to the importance of the Board of Ed. I'm asking the town 35 days. Write a letter to the paper, write a letter to the town manager, Donna, temporary, and let's help this town move forward. That's all I have to say.
And just on that same note, just as clarifying, because a lot of people, are not familiar with all the ins and outs of government, workings on the municipal level or every level has its own quirks. Traditionally, Hebron fills vacancies with the same party of the person who leaves. So I encourage anyone that's interested, this isn't saying that unaffiliated or independent voters never get considered, but in order to be considered, you really need to reach out to the town council that is in charge of that side of the vacancy. In this case, it would be the Democratic Town Committee. Sorry, I said council earlier.
That's okay. You were
Sorry.
talking with interrupt.
The Democratic Town Committee. Reach out to them. They're on Facebook. There's other ways to get in touch with them. And, like Sean said, throw your hat in the ring, because this is how you make a difference, is by being on the board. And I would love to see the DTC, having 4 or 5 people to pick the best candidate from. And I would love to see that person come forward with their recommendation, and then we just do what we got to do. But I know a lot of people aren't familiar with those steps. So please reach out to the Democratic Town Committee in town, and become a volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you both. Appreciate it. That will now bring us to the town manager's report as presented by Dory, if we have one.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Wonderful.
Donna and I worked on this already. So,
Excellent.
we have been busy with budget.
The alliteration is fabulous. As a words person, I appreciate that.
Something about the number 3.
I didn't even think of this one. Maybe.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We attended the Board of Finance special meeting last evening where they made their cuts to the town side and the local Board of Ed. So later in the packet, we will be dealing with the cuts that they have put to us. The budget referendum, as many of you well know, is Tuesday, June 16th. It will be at the Hebron Elementary School, as always. And we encourage people to get out and vote. Donna had attended the regular Board of Finance meeting 2 weeks ago. And again, they also dealt with budget and some other items. Our office is currently working on 4 RFPs. General plumbing, general electrical, our supplemental wells for the town service, and cleaning services at the Douglas Library. 2 of them open, actually 3 of them open in June. Hopefully we'll have a recommendation to bring to the council at the next meeting. Okay. The 4th, it doesn't close until July, so that will be done in July. Our office is continuing to work on the Senior Center Program Coordinator. We have an interview tomorrow morning, so we're hoping that we will get that filled. I have been working on coordinating our panel for the revenue collector. Thank you, Jane.
Of course.
And
Thank you, Brian O'Reilly.
yeah, and Brian O'Reilly too. Yeah, too, very accommodating. It's looking like June 16th will be the first round of interviews.
June 16th is going to be a busy day.
It's going to be
Yeah,
very
just,
busy.
Sorry, just like throw that out there for the record.
We are continuing recruitment for the finance director position.
And SGR did post that, correct? On their boards?
They
Okay.
did say, I haven't seen it, I
Okay.
haven't looked specifically, but they
Okay.
did say that they would
Oh, wonderful.
give us a,
Yeah, I looked on their
Courtesy.
website, it sort of like that sort of sneak peek announcement came out, but the actual posting isn't on their page yet.
Okay.
I don't know when it's gonna go live, but
Okay.
maybe I can check with Bill.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. It's nice of them to do that.
We had 2 rounds of negotiations with our supervisors union, and we will bring that before you in executive session tonight. We had a website meeting
Yes,
and discussions. We're working to get that launched.
yes.
Jan will
I'll
report a
speak to
little
that.
bit more
Sure.
of that later.
We'll elaborate.
We have been working with the town manager search consultant, Bill Frazier. That posting for the town manager position has gone live.
Right.
We have put it out there, and I know there's been some response already. So Bill will be reporting to the council, to the committee.
Yep.
I believe on Fridays. That's
Excellent.
his schedule.
Excellent.
We received the LOTSIT grant, the notice that our sidewalk project is moving forward. So that's great news.
That's good news.
Donna has been working on the financial year-end wrap-up with the Board of Finance and our finance representatives. Donna attended a meeting with OPM and our auditor. I think she will have a report to you on that. I don't have the specifics on that.
Mhm.
We have received 2 applications for the Neighborhood Assistance Act, so we will be bringing those before the council next meeting. So that's exciting.
That is exciting.
An update on the Joanne Connolly case. There's been a hearing set for July 1st
Okay.
and trial dates August 17th and 18th.
Okay.
That's been set.
Can you refresh memory on who this individual is?
So Joanne Connolly was a resident who was trying to launch an animal welfare placement.
Yeah, it's the animal welfare case.
Yeah. And this is the ring.
Thank you.
Is there any new date on the FOI hearing? I know that was continued, but no word on that
Oh,
yet.
we haven't
Seen anything
we
from
haven't seen
FOI?
the schedule yet.
All right.
And I think probably now that there's summer, there might be some
Yeah, probably.
scheduling.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And that's all that I have.
Great. I did see something interesting because I mentioned it last meeting as part of the town manager's report. But as folks know, Eversource is requesting a 13% rate increase. So the town of Vernon recently launched kind of like not a change.org, but a kind of petition, join the mayor and speak out about this increase. And I thought it was interesting that Eversource responded rather angrily to the Hartford Current about it, which I thought was an interesting approach for the company to take. So just another idea we can think about. I'm sure we're all thinking about what the ramifications will be of a 13% increase in electric rates to our next budget. But that's the town of Vernon's approach. And so I thought that was interesting to share that that's what they've done to kind of provide feedback on the process. I'll put that out to the public as well. Any questions for Dory?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. You did great. Thank you.
I made it through.
That was a big update. It's a lot of work. Thank you all so much. Okay. So that brings us to old business, item 8A, which is the fiscal year 26-27 budget update. So we've been tasked to cut $75,000. And so, we have the results here, and I know we have an Excel spreadsheet. And then we also have a memo that was prepared for us by Donna, which is on the screen. And I'm actually just going to read this into the record. And I'm reading this into the record for transparency purposes. It's not that we're deciding to do this tonight, but it is a sign of things that could come. And so we just want to be transparent that these are ideas that department heads have come up with that we need to consider. So I'll just read this into the record because Donna did a nice job of putting this together for us. Each department was asked to re-examine its budget request, and many have identified reduction options for consideration. While a limited number of these reductions could be implemented with little to no impact, most would affect operations, service levels, or long-term planning. It is important to emphasize the need for adequate funding to maintain town facilities, infrastructure, and capital assets. Many of the proposed reductions would simply defer necessary investments, including facility maintenance, infrastructure improvements, and the replacement of aging vehicles and equipment. Although these reductions may provide short-term budget relief, they increase the likelihood of higher costs and operational challenges in the future. The following service adjustments could be considered. Modify transfer station operations. Sunday hours could be eliminated and a transfer station permit fee could be implemented. In addition, a charge for the disposal of household garbage, municipal solid waste MSW could be considered. These measures would help offset fees currently paid by the town of Hebron. Reduce library hours. A reduction in public service hours at the library could be considered. Reduce senior transportation hours. Service hours for senior transportation could be reduced. Reduce fleet by retiring the 2017 Ford E450 20-passenger van, which may have resale value. The potential reductions presented in the attached or the Excel spreadsheet you'll soon see are listed in line item order and should not be interpreted as a ranking of priority. These recommendations were not made lightly. Each reflects difficult decisions regarding service delivery, organizational priorities, and the town's long-term financial sustainability. And I also want to provide some information before we dive into the spreadsheet. If you all would bear with me, I just have to find this email. Somebody did reach out and emailed a question about, well, what happens if we don't have a budget by July? So Keith and I worked on what that looks like and what happens. So Section 904 of the town charter specifies that if a budget has not been passed by July 1st of any given year, the Board of Finance may authorize expenditures and provide for the raising of necessary revenues in accordance with Connecticut General Statute 7-405. That is a very long statute, but if you want to look it up, you can read it. So basically, what will happen is the Board of Finance will run the town for 90 days according to what they think the budget should be. Then if a budget has still not passed, they continue to run the town in 30-day increments until a budget is passed or it becomes the next July 1st. They may set the mill rate according to what they think the budget should be and may borrow any funds needed to meet the town's needs above that mill rate using short-term bonding. So that's what will happen if we don't have a budget by July 1st. So just think that information is helpful. So with that, I've done a lot of talking. So we have this Excel spreadsheet in front of us. I've been told by Donna that the items in green are items we can definitely take without much discussion, that these are actual savings that we can realize that we can start with right off the bat. And then everything else is up for discussion. We do have 2 items on here related to the fire department, and the fire chief is here if we have questions on that. I know there's some grant funding there, and so we could ask him questions if we have questions on that. So whoever wants to start can kick us off so we can identify where we're going to make these reductions.
I had a clarifying question with respect to the discussion about short-term bonds and how we're going to fund the town should a budget fail. Another 3rd, 4th, 5th time, whatever it could look like. So we're going to pay interest on that borrowed money, correct?
I don't think there's any need for short-term bonding at this time.
Right. But I'm saying in the potentially, what was the mention, right?
I mean, if Hebron's not, I don't know if you want to handle this one or you want me to take it. Hebron is not really in the position. So that's something that is in the statute for towns that run very lean. There are some towns in Connecticut with an unassigned fund balance of 0. We actually have quite a healthy fund balance. Last I checked, it was underneath the top level of what we consider to be our comfort zone, but it is well above what we consider to be the point that we need to start actively replenishing it. So in order for us to look at short-term bonding, generally short-term bonding is to help towns which are unable to raise taxes because they can't pass a budget and they experience, obviously there's inflation. So if you're still paying inflationary rates for stuff, you're going to go into the red. And at that point, they must either take out of their unassigned fund balance through supplemental appropriations, or if their unassigned fund balance is 0, they must engage short-term bonding, because towns that do not have a budget are not allowed to supplement that budget with long-term bonds like we would use for construction projects. So, I mean, yes, there is an interest charge anytime you go out for bonding. And short-term bonds have some of the worst interest rates, but I personally don't see that being an issue for us. I think that the normal inflationary expenses, which would drive our budget into the red this year, even if we were unable to pass one, would mostly be absorbed by the unassigned fund balance. It would seriously deplenish it.
Correct.
But I don't think that we would be in the position for short-term bond.
So with that, the dwindling of the unassigned fund balance, then we would have to replenish it.
Yeah, which means higher taxes in future years to try to incrementally build that back to the minimum allowed by our town policy, which is 1 month, and our maximum is 1.5 months of operating expenses.
I appreciate you walking us through that, and I think it's important for the public to know the possibilities. Thank you.
So we have the green numbers that we can add up right away. We have to take off the
Correct.
75.
And I think that leaves us with,
Well, I don't see an official number anywhere. Like, what's our official number that we were told to reduce by?
75,000.
75.
it
Yeah,
was
just-
75. Yeah, no, it was,
It's on the lower left-hand corner.
yeah,
Lower
Yeah.
left-hand corner. of the
target
spreadsheet.
reduction is
Target
75,000.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right, so it is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The greens were kind of easy, and just for
Yeah.
public information, the greens were reducing a senior van, because right now we have several vehicles in the senior transportation fleet, and this one is only used infrequently.
Mhm.
So the redundancy caused by the other vehicles, this should not see a major impact to services by reducing that one van. The other two items listed there are senior center part-time payroll and contractual services. Some of those are going away because we were doing an operational switch anyways. So that's funds that we would have realized
Mhm.
as part of our normal operations. And the other line is several years ago, we had a grant funded position. And, I appreciate our staff going out and looking for grant funds. That's free money that our town does not have to raise in taxes.
Mhm.
However, when those grants expired, at the time, it was, the boards that were in existence. And I want to say this was 23, 24. The boards that were in existence at that time decided that there was enough space in the budget to absorb those into town funds. Well, obviously, I would argue that we're not feeling that way about the budget now.
Mhm.
So because these were originally grant funded positions, which were not, they were nice to haves,
Mhm.
and we kept them on in budget times where we felt it was affordable. I would argue now that the nice to haves should be one of the items that we get rid of first.
Yep.
So though that position will be reduced as well.
Okay. And then there's some internet savings there as well because we're switching providers.
Yep.
So it's a decent chunk of change there. It seems like we were way overpaying for that. But
Yeah. And then
that's good.
I don't know if anyone else had anything to throw out, but the vacant truck driver for Public Works, there were two proposals made by
Mhm.
Paul, and I appreciate his effort to work with us, and I appreciate, obviously this isn't an extra position. He is going to have some service issues with this going unfilled until
November.
the winter.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him proposing that as far out as he did. However, given his concerns as far as the driver learning the routes, getting comfortable with the job prior to getting thrown right onto snow duty, I would argue to reduce that level slightly. His proposal was to postpone 26 weeks. That would place it into December. I would offer that we do a 20-week postponement, which would be a start date in late October, somewhere between October 16th and October 20th. And that would reduce these numbers accordingly. I know Dory's going to hate me right now because she has to write small. All right, so reduce the first one to 17,623 and 85 cents. I don't know if you're keeping the cents. Reduce medical insurance to 6,849 and reduce life insurance to $23.08. That gives us a walk away on that of 24,560. Those three lines all put together.
So it said November in here on the original.
Yeah, 26 weeks actually, because of the start time of the budget and everything and,
Yeah.
and the hiring process, actually put it into mid-December.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
beginning of December. So by backing it up 6 weeks, we're making it just before November.
Okay.
November through April is typically for public works considered to be, winter time.
Sure.
That's when mandatory overtime usually kicks in bargaining contracts.
Mhm.
And to Paul's point, that's the prime time that you want to have everybody
For sure.
trained and ready to go because you don't want somebody new out there in the blinding snow trying to drive around in roads they've never driven and hitting 13 mailboxes because we do have to pay for those.
Yeah, they do.
So,
A lot of narrow roads too.
My numbers are right. That gets us to 41,966 left to cut.
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I threw in, Donna was nice enough to suggest that the town office building windows
She did. Yeah.
Oh,
She did say
okay.
that was one capital project you guys
can
could
go
go
one
on.
more.
Okay, so it's 28-1.
Okay.
Yep. Some of these capital projects I feel really strongly about
I do
keeping. I agree we can't keep kicking the can down the road on them.
Mm-mm.
That's the only one I feel comfortable placing on the list. That brings us to 61,134. So we need about
13,866
Yeah.
is what I have.
14 grand more.
14 grand?
Well, yeah.
More or less, yeah. So, I mean, we have a couple of things I know the chief graciously offered he might have some grant funding there
Mhm.
on the fire hose and the portable radios. That's one option.
Yeah, I think
What's everybody's thoughts on that one?
I think before we get into that, just the capital outlay on the DPW flooring.
Yeah, there's
Can
that
we-
saw.
Yeah.
On the flooring.
The saw
the saw
I
we
would
wanna
keep.
keep.
That's operational.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the flooring, depending on how things go with DPW,
Mhm.
will get hit.
True.
Right.
So I would argue, let's take that 44,
Mhm.
and then if the chief is agreeable to it, I think at that point we only have to remove the radios for 10,280.
Let's check that was the 100. 946.
75,814.
Much faster than me. I keep writing down.
That is his job.
I know it's his job. I'm over here like, oh, that's
why he has that job.
Well, I mean, before we pat our backs on it, let's talk to the fire chief.
Yeah, actually, that's
Chiefs are gone.
on the radios during the grant process, those are actually a priority item.
Okay.
So FEMA puts out a list and they'll say, hey, like, here are the priority items. Like that, if you put an application for these, your chances are a lot better of getting it than these items down here. And radios have been at the top of the list
Okay.
for a couple of years. So
So does that mean you're comfortable with us taking
Yeah.
it from the radio as long as you have enough for the match?
So because we stand a better chance of getting the radio grant than the hose grant.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm more comfortable doing that than
Then the
the
host.
hose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chief.
Well, good. Thank you, Sean, for that. That was a good idea. So much.
All right. I mean that
That gets us there.
yeah, that gets us where we need to go. I mean,
Of course.
obviously, I think deeper cuts. I agree with Donna's statement. I would start looking at reduced library hours and transfer station hours. But I think because the Board of Finance, they went back and forth last night a little bit on where they are at with the number. At first, I was very worried going into that meeting that our number would be over 100, in which case, Donna was very, good at planning ahead and giving us these options, because getting us to, getting us above 100 or further, would not be easy, especially because some of the things on the previous list, I know the public, may look at it and say, oh, there's 300,000 here. But I mean, a lot of these are really, to the chief's point, like we don't want to not replace fire hose. We don't want to not replace radios and stuff if we can't have to. I mean, the PCI evaluation for Paul, that's something that our roads are our most important asset. And I don't want to keep jeopardizing these things for dollars and cents. I think that these cuts that we've made are just enough to get us through with what the Board of Finance has recommended. Hopefully they're enough to pass the budget. But again, if we are back here again, the items on Donna's list, those are going to be some of the places we look.
The library and the transfer station hours.
And the possibility of increasing revenues to offset the transfer station expenses.
Correct. Which many other towns do.
I would say most.
Yeah,
I would say
exactly.
most.
I'd say almost all. Yeah.
I'm coming up a little bit higher than what you had.
Okay.
Wow.
So let me just, can I just,
Yep.
just to make sure.
Absolutely. You want to get right?
So for the full-time public works position, we would be reducing it to the 17,623.
Yep.
6,849.
Oh, you know why you're off there? Because I had the cents on there. I had 85 cents, 25 cents, and 8 cents.
I didn't put any cents in there.
Right. Yeah. So what I did is take the total, multiply by 20 and divide by 26. And then you get the 24,560 even. And then I just broke it into the three categories. But the total for all three is going to be 24,560.
24,560. 60.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another addition over here.
And then over here, like multiply this.
I'm doing it on my calculator too, just to.
Yeah, no, I had the calculator open on mine.
Over.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. And then you're gonna take that and multiply it by 20, divide by 26. Because that's the 20 weeks instead of 26 weeks. To do equals that times 3. Divided by
And we are reducing this.
No, I did not like that.
Again.
Nothing about videos.
I do it.
What does it say?
Times
Just,
20.
we, just taking.
Well, no, it's not.
That's
We're just taking out another.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep the grant.
And then do
So we would reduce the reduction of the radios. Is that correct? Say we're at 75, 810. At 810, go back to the radios.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This number here is these three put together.
Wherever, but that's
Yeah. We're gonna get it right.
We are.
We could.
19 weeks. And so instead of we make tonight, instead of
6 days, we get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just do the sum and then goes through. Yeah.
It's just that. This is how the sausage get made.
That's right.
Bear with us. I have a finance guy here. I'm just saying. It's awfully quiet this quarter over there.
He did his work last night. He did his work last
He
night.
did his work.
And then 79, 69.
I think we're just over. I think we're gonna be about 75,000.
Right.
In there.
Do equals. Some.
So where did you get?
Yes, US.
24, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this 4,000 for the phones.
Yep. And then open parentheses.
Yeah, I got that.
Excel formulas, so click on those three.
Town office building, we lost 28,100.
Yeah.
Fire department.
Yeah, yeah.
10,000.
No, we can't do the total amount because we have to leave 7916 in that.
Right, so it's just a difference. Let me do that.
Still matter? No. If he wants his work.
Minus 7916. We're just gonna save 2364, right? That's better. So this.
Benefits of owning your own thing. You can get
And
yeah, you just don't give them a good thing. Yeah, but
This lines, right?
those are good. Yeah, those are. Oh, there's all in healthy stuff. It's just nice to take it in. Yeah, I'm not gonna eat wait until these run out before you get up. It's fine. I'm not gonna eat like a whole watermelon. I can
Making
eat
progress?
watermelon. I'm not making progress.
Already. We just had to adjust the numbers.
75, 750.
75 and 50.
We will remove that and we're gonna pull 750 off of the
Okay.
radio's reduction. Get the exact same of that. Either way, it's gonna be slopped at the end and go into surplus. So, we're good.
Oh, we got there. 75, 750. We'll also point out, Dory, once you're done, we're going to need the new budget resolution because we have to.
Yes, but we're only adjusting that by the number that, because we're just doing line item transfers. So we're just adjusting that by the 75,000 they took. So restating it.
Just the top of it.
Yep, we didn't touch anything in, right? Did I touch anything? Oh, we did. Contribution
did.
capital.
We did.
Yes, we did. So
We did. We have to recalculate the whole resolution. Or do you want us to go to a 5-minute recess so you can calculate it? We're going to go to a 5-minute recess, folks, because we have to calculate some new figures for our budget resolution, and we'll be right back with you. We will be right here. We just need to give Dory some time. So just hold on a second. Yeah, because we took one.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we took this line out of capital. So then we took this line out of,
This guy.
no, this is highway. This is highway.
It was just the portable
and
radios.
It's just the portable.
It's just
radios.
the,
Oh, no,
rate.
it's this one.
No, it's the windows.
Oh, we did the window way
Thank
well.
you. Thank you. 2010.
Yeah, and that's in that lower capital projects right here. It's between this amount, right?
Yeah, he is done.
Yep, yep, yep. EOB's got it. These kids are wanting to, want to be on 5,000 something.
All right, so we are going to. All right. Contribution to capital projects.
Getting closer to all that. We're up at 81,245.
It's good in horseshoes. It's been the county.
It's awfully high.
All right, I gotta come over and see. All right, let me finish and I'll come over and see.
Sure.
Yes.
We send it.
Oh, for sure.
Let's make sure. Lines right first. So I'm gonna kind of for the windows. You know, make them green over there. That way we.
It's 28.
Yeah, or 28.
28 one year.
Window. So make that one green.
That's on checklist.
Oh, you got it way off. Actually, yeah, please. Well, I have to watch the taste of first Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's always that.
I'll put the large over.
So that one. And we did the 20.
I don't know, I got
Yes,
risk.
that was the number you got right there.
Yep.
It gets too old. You don't have a good stack anymore.
And then,
Those are good. There's something.
so you can make.
Oh, there's a lot wrong with it. They're very good.
So we.
That's the make it so
Yeah.
used to make it sound like it.
Oh, I made some more Christmas trees, I'm sure. Years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's all about bar.
I think 42, 43.
Age match, if we're taking that out, are we taking asbestos? Asbestos.
Oh, up to, up to, no, we took the minimum.
No, 27 hours. That was for her to reduce some hours.
Whoops. Okay. All right.
It is. It's two heads is better than one.
We don't.
All right.
No,
I didn't have the full amount.
Oh, okay.
I took the green number. Well, that's why we're way off. All right, so we're taking the full, so you're making the 2008, not yet, 2018 as green.
Oh, okay, that's why.
That is why. Yep.
Okay, so guess what?
Radios are back in.
Radios are back in.
Radios are back in. Okay.
Radios are back in the menu.
Okay.
Which that still puts us down to 81.
It still puts us at 81, right?
Right.
Mm.
Because we're reducing more than we really need to. All right, so what is
Lost.
That's how much.
six? Does that extra 6 allow us to just bring back the truck driver? I'm gonna add a couple weeks back in, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, yeah, it's in September.
It's just a lot more. weeks.
Yeah, that's no stuff like over. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
Put the 68, I think, yeah. Gonna get to 75.
Mm.
Well, this is supposed to be.
I'm just having notes. Yep.
Your house? That wasn't
I know.
Yes. So right now we're at 20.
Oh, I'm kind of at the trouble. You're so okay with this one.
Yeah.
So they're all being.
This is some trash. About $6,000.
So this one, it doesn't know what doing. I think that's good.
So this is
So we're gonna be fine.
close to the whole thing.
So my.
$16 weeks.
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
All right.
Instead of 20. I think it's an extra month. I like it.
I like it. Starting in September.
Okay. Cool. Then try it the third time.
Third time is the charm.
You know,
That's what they say.
you beat me to it. We're all thinking it.
Wow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And now it gets a little ridiculous. Okay. So these are 3 lines. I'm like that for I got 26 to get to, because those numbers are, yeah, that's until November, so that's 26 weeks, right?
There we go.
That's so I divided that by 26, multiplied that by 16. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Divide by 16.
Now.
Multiply by 16, divide by 26.
But I don't know if it goes things. Like, I certainly can't pick it up, but my choice is or to decide whether you know it's reasonable. Underline was, I'm saying it's,
Yeah.
but there's another, let's use something. Because this, we're, it was, that girl, was supposed to violate.
Yeah.
So she was realized, because I had been, I was 16 when we go around school. Divided by 12. She had some say, I don't know, I had a lot to open to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so then so under her license, I can keep her involved.
Yeah.
She's they're never so sure, very different. I don't know a lot of their classes. She's really sassy, really, really. I would be interested. I would be right, but I can't. She's better than me. So that's why she would.
Yeah, how did I get that? I got that close. I noticed.
No, yeah, they're really like.
Yeah. Oh, you know, because you don't have that sum in brackets, so it's taking the last one and multiplying it by 26 and dividing.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta put it in brackets.
Order of operations.
Back up. Do some first. Keep going. Some. Open. Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Okay. You did right now. Go after 9. And
More fun for me.
And I went about what?
597.
yeah.
I just
Yeah,
rounded because
I should round because we're not. Right, so you 5 minutes.
I just went.
That's what we're doing. That puts us at 76. 346.
I like it. Let's do it.
76 and 346. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Let's join.
Okay. So now I just gotta subtract from the general.
So,
All right. Almost.
Two more seconds.
I got you.
At least we got the same number this time.
We did get, I mean, the same number is always good. Yeah.
All right. You're good. So that's, so we put the radios back in. So the only thing coming out of contribution to capital projects is 28,100.
28,100. Yeah, if the radios are back in, that's correct.
Because that's what Paul's calling it, like his description, but it's coming out of.
Okay, I just want to.
Yeah, no, it threw me off.
Okay.
You guys at the same time.
From me also. Okay.
Because it's only for $4,000, so it doesn't.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I'm not trying to confuse.
No,
Um,
no, no.
sure.
All right.
For sure. Okay. Great. That's good. Seeing that through. Right.
Yeah, 75. Okay, so the new numbers on general budget,
Mhm.
10,553,726.
Yeah.
And the no change to capital improvement.
Right.
No change to open space.
Mhm.
Capital projects is now 171,371.
Got it.
Debt service is the same.
That's our system. Lori, when you're ready, we can come out of recess.
Does he have? Press that.
We don't need it for the resolution.
Right,
So
understood.
this will take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You ready?
I did do that 3 times.
Thank you all for your patience. But these numbers we have to get right and they have to be exact because there's a resolution attached to it. So we are done with our work. And Dory, you feel good? Ready to go?
I do feel it.
Okay, Keith, you good?
I am good with that.
Everybody else good? I'm going to read
Yes.
the resolution.
Joe,
Yes,
Before we do that, we have to announce the changes that we made during recess.
yes.
Because it was just math errors, but we did
That's
make some
correct.
changes to the.
So we have we have bumped up the truck driver position. Instead of 20 weeks, we've moved that to a 16-week spell.
Correct.
And we have added back in the entirety of the amount for the portable radios because we actually found that we cut a little bit too much. So that is in there. So the only capital project coming out still are the town office
Windows.
windows.
Windows, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder.
No.
No.
That, Dory, that 11 on the top of the resolution, that 11,905,792 already has the 75 out, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Then yes, you can read the resolution.
All right.
Just checking.
He's just checking. Or just checking.
Sure.
Okay. Resolution that pursuant to Hebron Town Charter, Chapter 9, Finance, Budget, and Taxation, Section 902F, the Hebron Town Council approves budget allocations in accordance with the Board of Finance proposed town government expenditure. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to read this, right? Okay. Sorry. Proposed town government expenditure budget for fiscal year 2026-27 of $11,905,792. This includes town government budget, $10,553,726. Contribution to capital improvement projects over $75,000, $565,936. Contribution to open space, 0. Contribution to capital projects, $10,000 to $75,000, $171,371. And debt service, $539,759. Payment dated June 16th. So, any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jan Lawrence.
Jan Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, I.
Keith Pettit.
Keep Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Thank you all for bearing with us. Thank you, Dory. Want to make sure we get the math right. Okay. With that, we can move on. It brings us to item 8B under old business, which is ARPA update, but I don't believe we have anything for that.
Unfortunately, I do not have any updates on that.
Okay,
Madam
great.
Chair.
And then item 8C, DPW Action Committee update. And I think we're just going to wait for the next presentation unless you have.
We are waiting for the next presentation. They have not had an official meeting since our last presentation.
Okay.
And I'm not aware of any further movement that they haven't covered other than they continue to post updates in the River East.
Okay, great. Thank you. Brings us very quickly to item 8D, revisions to employee handbook of personnel policies and procedures.
I think we can just star that one.
I
Start,
did,
start,
but
start.
I did work on it Saturday. I did.
Wow.
I got through like another 15 pages.
Okay.
So start.
So it's in process. But yeah, we'll just do another start there, but it's in progress.
It is.
So that's good.
You regretting volunteering for that?
I hate these things. I'm not HR.
Well, yes. All right, that brings us to item 8E, homestead exemption ordinance update. I had a call scheduled. It fell through because we both got a little busy. I will circle back with the new Milford mayor and I will try to have an update for the next meeting for you all. So I'm on it and I got to get back to it. And so that will then bring us to item 8F, the Town Center Project America 250 update. Do we have an update?
I believe Holly is.
Great. Holly, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
We can.
Excellent. So June is shaping up to be a very busy month for the town of Hebron and the 250th committee. The first off that we have going on is St. Peter's and Code. On June 12th, we'll be presenting A Lesbian Belle Tells, which is a humorous storytelling, a one-woman play based on her real-life events. So something we should all mark on our calendar. Next up is we have on 6/13, our Hebron Historical Society is defining a sense of space in an age of cyberspace. It's a new exhibit that they are, they've been working very diligently on it for many, many months. I'm trying to find the flyer now. I had it. Here we go. It is showing 10,000 years of Hebron's past. It was originated around the theme that the land of Hebron has been reshaped by the people and the events that have occurred in its past. I'm very excited to see that. That will also be open on July 4th for those that will be participating in our July 4th ceremonies. On 6/19, we are currently working on a watch party for, I'm not supposed to say World Cup, but the World Cup. And still working on that. It's going to be HES in the cafeteria or the gymnasium. That's a day game. And then we also have on the 19th that evening, we will have What to a Slave is the 4th of July. Frederick Douglass's speech that he gave to the Rochester's Women's Club back in 1876. That is being sponsored by Code and will be held at St. Peter's. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook for more information about this stuff. And then for the wrap up on June, we have our old time baseball game, which is slated for Father's Day, June 21st, along with Make Music Day, which will be an amazing concert wrap up. We're still looking for team players for the Hebron Maple Leafs. We will be playing the Woodstock Hilltoppers. Please sign up on Facebook or send us an email if you're interested in playing. And also, we're always looking for volunteers. Our next meeting is Saturday, 9 a.m., the room that you guys are currently in.
Great. Thank you so much. That is a very busy month. So thank you for all your group is doing to celebrate the 250th birthday of America. Any questions, comments for Holly?
Oh, thank you, Holly, for all you guys are
No,
doing.
thank you. That's
Appreciate
great.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, that brings us to item 8G, which is the Hebron Cell Phone Powers Advisory Group update. So there is a recommendation that we have and a proposed contract from STA Communications for us to consider. I want to make clear we're not making a final decision on it. It's just like our initial review. I mean, it still has to go through a legal review. It still has to go through all of those steps. But this is our first glance at it. I requested that Craig pull together a comparison of the original proposal and what's currently proposed and some additional information because I thought that would be helpful for the council. So Claudia, I know you sit on the advisory group. I don't know if there's anything you want to kind of fill in on this or.
I think that Craig did a good job of just encapsulating what the comparison between what was originally presented to us back in January, I believe it was, and a little bit back and forth with the vendor and coming up with some new proposed terms that are more favorable, we believe, for the town. Do we want to read this for the record, or just have people just read what's been posted to the town webpage.
I mean, I think we can just discuss it. I don't think I need to read this one. I mean, it's just, unless you guys want me to read this one again into the record. And I can. So the original contract, the length was 30 years. The signing bonus was 60,000. The annual increase was 15% after each 5-year term. And the revenue was the greater amount of either 50% of gross rents collected by each tenant utilizing the tower or monthly base rental fee of $3,017. It's proposed now is a length of 15 years with a signing bonus of 40,000, an annual increase of 15% after each 5-year term, and then the revenue is exactly the same. The signing bonus will be paid during the next rental payment after the contract is signed and title updated, and if the signing bonus is averaged out as annual earnings, the proposed signing bonus accounts for $2,666.67 compared to $2,000 for the original contract. It says here the Parks and Rec Commission is in support of the new proposed contract. Carriers request contracts to be solidified 5 years before expiration so that their service is secure with new interruptions. It says here as well, if a new contract went out to an RFP, the carriers could direct SBA to begin searching for a new location so that if they were not awarded the contract, a new tower would be completed elsewhere and services would not be interrupted. So SBA would decommission the building, dismantle the tower, and build in a new location. So.
I would ask that we obviously not strike from the record, but not take that second paragraph into consideration whatsoever. That was the whole purpose of the committee, was to see if we wanted. Again, I'm not. I just don't feel that should affect our decision making. It's not intended. It's intended to be informative, not a scare tactic, but it's minimally informative, and we're not scared. So.
Asked to read it into the record, and I appreciate it. Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
I just feel it shouldn't have any part that the rest I like, just that particular paragraph, like, yeah, we know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to disagree. Really? Yeah, because the rest I don't like. Oh no. This contract is basically the same contract that came before us in December that I said was the worst contract that the town of Hebron could enter into. And even though it's half of the length in term, it is still the worst contract that the town of Hebron could enter into. We had examples back then, and I brought my December 18th pamphlet from that Board of Selectmen. Oh, no, we were a town council then.
No, wow.
From that
Yeah.
town council meeting.
We were just
Barely.
Just barely.
Where we talked about Marlboro going out to RFP and getting 3 solicitations, which, yes, I don't think the SBA was worse than the worst solicitation they got, but it was worse than the other 2. And there was a significant difference. And I think my estimate on the difference came out to something like $2 million over 30 years for their best proposal. I mean, it's insulting that they still are holding on to this 15% increase after each 5-year term. That's just insulting, because that one item, not counting the other things that these other companies that propose to Marlboro would offer in, but just the difference between charging 3 years annually and 15 years, or 3% annually or 15% every 5 years. When I calculated it for the 30-year contract, it was $137,000 that they kept of ours. So obviously a 15-year contract would be a little less than half of that because of inflation. But the purpose of that subcommittee was to go out to RFP. This is not going out to RFP. This is renegotiating with an existing contractor, which is exactly what the previous town manager did. I would propose to the rest of the council that we reiterate to that subcommittee that their charge is to go to RFP. Period.
That is the reason why we established
Yeah.
the advisory committee.
We'll take it back to the committee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was great. That was the whole point.
I mean, it read like almost the exact same contract. It's the exact same time.
Like the same thing. I'm like, what's the difference?
I think what
It's just 15 instead of 30.
Yeah, that's it.
So with the
That's all.
shorter
Yeah.
term, I think what they were thinking would happen was if when we renewed, that those bonuses and the annual increases would increase. That was the idea.
I guess I'm just having a disconnect between why the town of Marlborough was able to get
Mhm.
so many good quotes
Yeah.
and worse. And we
And I think,
It's a
I think part of
disconnect for
that,
me.
I think part of that is the fact that, this original proposal, it's a company that, and again, I'm not saying that companies in other states can't offer good proposals, but this is a company that is used to working in Florida. They are not used to working in Connecticut or New England. And 2 out of the 3 companies, I won't tell you which, oh yeah, the 2 higher ones, were both companies based in New England. And the one that was awarded is based out of New York. They know what normal prices are up here. They know what Verizon will pay. They know what T-Mobile will pay. They know what it costs to construct in New England. And they give compensation accordingly. I do not think that we need to move forward without the best interests of our taxpayers in mind. I mean, we talk about economic development. I know it doesn't sound like it because it's just a cell phone tower, but this is economic development. And we can't just, wander through it blindly without getting the maximum benefit we can for our constituents.
Understood.
Yeah,
I will
great.
take it back to the subcommittee.
I'm going to offer the wildly minority opinion. Especially, this has been my first budget cycle. I am now officially a bird in the hand guy. It's guaranteed money. There is the possibility of more, and I do not deny that, and I can't deny that. So I would, obviously, it's not going to go to a vote. If it were to, it would apparently be 4-1. Because I'm also giving a lot of weight to the Park and Recs Commission, that this is a contract they are satisfied with. While the town could get more, it does directly affect them and their ability to plan.
It does. Yeah.
And again, I understand, like Keith's argument is strong. And I'm not really looking to convince, just simply providing my own opinion, kind of for the public and everyone else that I do. That guaranteed money, it's less than it could be, but we have it.
So perhaps Parks and Rec speak to what you were just saying, points being for why they support this proposal.
Because we're not voting tonight
Yeah.
on it, I think, yes, I mean, I would say as, I think, per the video, you can see what he's looking at as far as concerns.
Mhm.
I'll gently say of the concerns so that those specific concerns can either be addressed or not, and say, okay, yep, RFP it is. And again, I'm not going to bang the table or grab the gavel because best case, it's a 4-1. It's too far away anyway.
It's very too far. No, I don't know that it would have been a further away because I'm very sensitive to the fact that this fund's Fund 4, and I don't want to set up Parks and Rec does an awful lot in town, and they're dominantly self-funded through fees, and I recognize that and I understand that. However, I am a little frustrated that we set up a subcommittee with the purpose of going out there to get something better. And so that's where the disconnect is for me. And so if there isn't a rush on this, I mean, Claudia's point is well taken. I mean, would it be helpful to hear from some folks at the next meeting as to why they support the contract so we can have a more robust discussion? I'm open to that. I'm open to that. If I can be convinced, that's great. I'll be convinced. But that's where I'm sort of in the middle. I'm kind of with you. Yes, it's guaranteed money, and I get that, but I'm also but we specifically set up a committee to try to generate more income. So I'm
What's the timeline for an RFP though? I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, that's why we started now.
Yes.
Because we have 5 years left on our current contract.
Right.
And again, to their point, it takes a long time to do site work, to get it built, get it permitted. I mean, there is a lot of work that goes into it. And that's why they're saying it takes up to 5 years to get these things built.
Right.
That was the whole reason in December, we said, now's the time to act. And here we are 6 months down the road, and someone's trying to shove the same contract down my throat. I got to tell you, as a taxpayer, I mean, we can vote however we want, but as taxpayer Keith Pettit, I would be PISSED if you guys approve this contract. Like, are you kidding me? We talk about short-sightedness in this town. We talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a bird in the hand. I get it. But you know what? We don't buy Pendleton because of the turnaround tomorrow that we're going to resell it for $5. We buy Pendleton because we are going to develop an entire
Right.
economic development system
Right.
in that portion of town. You know, government is not about, if you want to turn a quick buck, private sector, this is not the place for you.
Right.
Government is about long-term planning and making sure that you do the best for people that can't come together and get it on their own. That's the entire point of government. Otherwise, why are we here? We may as well just like have corporations running the sewers, have corporations running the cell phone towers, running the parks. Why are we here? I mean, I get it, but I would rather take $50,000 out of the unassigned fund balance and give it to Craig tomorrow than to give up for the people of town $137,820.29. And that's just the interest adjustment. Based off of the difference between the Marlboro RFP and this contract, which is exactly the same as in December, $2,027,283.61 over 30 years.
And the point town over. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
is the vendor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm total agreement. We have to think long term.
Yeah,
How
we
are
do.
we going to get more money
Yeah.
into our town? This is what we're suffering with. We
Yeah.
don't have enough income coming into our town. We have to do something about that.
and RFPs take a long time.
Yeah.
Construction takes a long time. I mean, I think we have the RFP construction expert here. He can tell you,
Yeah.
like, it ain't going to happen tomorrow. We have got to get going on this. We are 6 months down the road and we are back at SBA is trying to convince us to sign the exact same document. It even says all other portions of the previous lease stay in effect. I mean, it's almost insulting.
It's not almost. It is insulting. It is insulting. I'm insulted.
I think we could do better with a company that is local and understanding of what goes
Yes.
on here and understanding of what the market can bear and what we should be adequately compensated for versus somebody in Florida who's just like, look, get a salesman up there and sell Hebron on this. I'm not sold.
Heard how it here.
Okay.
Maybe marching orders.
So there you go.
Okay, we'll table it.
Got it. Good discussion. then. That brings us to item 8H, which is the town website project update. It is starred, but do you have anything for us or do you want to defer to?
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys a short update. So, we had some back and forth with Revise over the latest proposal. We were trying to get some more storage, and they gave that to us. Getting more users to be able to use the system simultaneously, we got that from them. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to review the proposal in total with Novus, our consultant company, next week. And then at that point, I think we'd probably be looking to have them present to the council for you guys to review and see what questions you have. So we'll talk about that next week with Novus. Obviously, when Donna's back in, and we can figure out next steps. But that's the plan, I think. But they're definitely coming in much more reasonable, and I think it's a much more palatable agreement. Like I said last time, we're willing to take those upfront costs and spread them out over a 4-year term. Makes it much more manageable for the town as a whole.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we'll move right on. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that the indomitable Donna Lanza has joined us remotely. So hello, Donna. I see you. Hello. Just feel free to jump in and interrupt us if we need interrupting, because we may need interrupting, that's for sure. But I just wanted to say hello. We see you. And it'll bring us to item 8I, which is the town manager executive search update. So I'm happy to provide clarification at the April 9th, 2026 town council meeting. the town council voted to appoint the town council as the search committee. So that's in the minutes where people can read that, and that is the search committee as it's operating. Donna, I don't know if you're able to provide an update on Bill's Day in Hebron, and then I can jump in with how we're going to engage the public.
Sure. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. All right. So Bill Frazier, the consultant from SGR, was in Hebron last Thursday, pretty much for the day. He spent a couple hours with the department heads. After that, Dory gave him a tour of the town, our facilities, our buildings, our parks. He was quite impressed with what he saw. And late in the afternoon, he spent some time with a group of community members. Some of the superintendents were invited, the AHM, HIHS, some of the community groups, some of the nonprofits, and then appointed board chairs were invited. So there was a good group of people who gave him feedback. And then that evening, he spent a couple hours with the search committee, finalizing the schedule and the plans moving forward. The job has been posted officially on the SGR website and many other places. We have already received quite a few applicants. We're happy to report. And we're going to be scheduling very soon, within the next couple of weeks. We'll be announcing a date soon to have a community listening session with the consultant. And that will be a virtual session. So the community will be invited to come and give feedback on what they believe we need in our next town manager. So it is moving along, and we're very excited. It's a great firm, and I think they're going to do a really good job for us.
That's excellent. Yes, that was what I was going to add, that the town council felt strongly in talking with Bill that we want the public's input. And so this public forum will provide an opportunity for folks to speak directly to Bill. Bill is great. He's personable, friendly. He's been a city manager before in Vermont, so he's well versed in municipal government. So that'll be a great opportunity for us to hear from the public what they're looking for. And I know it'll be valuable to the search committee. So that's great. Anything else to add? I think that just about covers it for now. It's exciting to hear that we have a lot of applicants. It's very exciting.
Great.
Good stuff. Thank you, Donna. All right, that'll take us to item 8J, which is Connecticut Main Street Initiative. I don't think we have anything on this one.
We don't have any updates on that particular initiative. The one thing I do want to mention is that the Planning and Zoning Commission is hosting a community forum, and that is coming up on Wednesday, June 17th at the Douglas Library at 7 p.m. It's open to the public, so if you'd like to come join in on the conversation, the objective of that meeting, of course, is to seek public input on what folks would like to see the future of Hebron Town Center to look like. And I think we'll probably discuss the Main Street Initiative during that time, since we're going to have critical mass. All the players that should be involved will be there, including, we hope, members of the public who have heard are very interested in seeing more economic development in town. So hopefully they show up and give us their feedback.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be a good listening session. That's exciting. That'll bring us to item 8K. Any other old business? Any other old business?
No, Madam Chair.
Any other old business in the council? All right, now we'll get into new business. Item 9A, Public Building Committee recommendation on Clerk of the Works. We have a letter from the Public Building Committee recommending that the contract for Clerk of the Works on the Gilead Hill School roofing and code violations project be awarded to M&J Engineering of Hamden, Connecticut. Keith, would you read that motion for us, please?
Yep. I move that the Hebron Town Council approves the award of contract to M&J Engineering of Hamden, Connecticut for the Gilead Hill School roofing and code violations project based on the hourly rate of $197 with the not to exceed amount of $100,000 and authorize Donna Lanza, interim town manager, to sign all necessary documents to effectuate the transaction.
Great. Well, Richard has been waiting a long time, and if he has anything he'd like to add, we'd love to hear from him. So come on up.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I wanted to share with you, when the committee reviewed the three proposals, the thing that was common, we all did our assessments independently, and we didn't talk to anybody, everybody did. And we all the members came back and said two very prevalent points. One, M&J, that their bench is extremely deep and diverse. The other thing is the person they're putting forward, a gentleman by the name of Sean Flanagan, has been in the construction industry 40 years. Of particular interest is that his background is partially in mechanical, electric, and plumbing and sprinkler divisions, which really kind of address what our building official Scott Phelps and Fire Chief Chris Bray had relative to the remediation of the missing fire and smoke caulking of the mechanical and electrical penetrations. So that's something that Sean is very adept, having spent a good portion of his career working in, on the mechanical side of the construction. The other thing was that, his diverse background is that he has a role as being what they call a commissioning agent, or that's like a third party entity that comes in and evaluates on behalf of the owner. And part of his commissioning discipline is what they call building envelope, which is evaluating after windows are installed, while they're being installed, or masonry being built, or roofs, that they're on site, making sure that as a third party disinterested observer, that what's getting put in place is complying with the specifications. And so that kind of answers the other major component, kind of probably the biggest component that's going on, or will be going on at Gilead Hill School, is a roof replacement. So the greatest news of this candidate is we couldn't have found a more highly qualified individual, diverse background, 40 years, diverse projects, not just schools, but all kinds of other facilities. So it is just like the ideal candidate. And I did share with both Scott and Chris the resume and some other folks in town, so they know that we really have a great person that we're recommending,
Right.
and a great firm.
Awesome. Any questions, Richard?
Thanks as always.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jen Lawrence.
Jan Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Right. Brings us to item 9B, approve fiscal year 25-26 transfers and fiscal year 23-24 year-end transfers. So we have a summary of the 23-24 intra-departmental and interdepartmental year-end transfers. We also have a summary of the current 25-26 intra-departmental and interdepartmental transfers. There may be additional fiscal year 25-26 intra and interdepartmental year-end transfers at a future meeting. That is common practice. That may happen. All of these will be, or the transfers will be forwarded to the Board of Finance for approval at their next meeting. So we have 4 motions here, so everyone's going to get one, which is kind of exciting. Sean, would you be so kind as to read the first proposed motion?
Hold on, I've got Get one. Move that the town council authorize the finance department to make adjustments to bring the financial statements into alignment to include intra-departmental transfers for fiscal year ending 2023 through 2024 in the amount of $306,035.82 as presented.
Any discussion? I don't know, Keith, if you want to elaborate there as to why this motion is a little different. From the proposed resolution.
I definitely.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The reason why this motion is worded the way it is, and this is not typical of how a motion would be worded, is because this is not typical of an accounting process. Even with this wording, I find it very hard to agree with this action. As an accountant, I should not be making entries to a closed period, especially in an authority position of someone who was not in that position at the time that the period was open. this is not normal. And that has been addressed with the finance department. And I think that that's part of the reason why we've had some issues with our 23-24 and 24-25 audits. To your previous point, line item transfers are to be done by GAAP accounting. They're to be done as soon as an appropriation requires funds to pay expenditures without going into the negative. We are not allowed to go into the negative. As soon as you do, according to GAAP accounting, you are using the unassigned fund balance. Using the unassigned fund balance is a very specific process in Hebron that has both charter and procedural ramifications. That process in 23-24 and 24-25 was not understood or followed by different players at that time. So this is our way of authorizing the finance department to make necessary adjustments so that that audit can be properly closed out. But these things really should have been done immediately after the period was ended. Sometime in the July 2024 timeframe. And of course, that's why we're also seeing these 25-26 coming up, because, these really should be done. We should be seeing these on a regular basis starting in, this year was a rough year. So we probably should have started in February when SALT went over, and we should have been doing these routinely so that, people shouldn't get the idea that an audit is a life-altering event. When you go into an audit, you should already know the answer. If you don't, that's not good. The auditor should not find any surprises. When auditors find surprises, that's a bad thing. All of these line items should be done while the period is open or as part of the period closing process in July. So that's why we're kind of trying to get caught up on the 25-26, and why the wording is unusual on the 23-24.
So it's helping to allow us to close these audits.
It is allowing the finance department to, they cannot transact in a closed period. What they can do is they can add these as a note to the financial statements from that period, so that the auditors say, okay, you should have done this. You understand you should have done this. And now we can move on with our audit.
I see. Thank you. Okay.
So it is what it is. And that's why we're authorizing it. We are not approving them.
Correct.
Got it.
And I really kind of feel a little like creepy even authorizing it.
Well, what's the alternative?
We have financial statements that are wildly inaccurate, and the audit has, they're going to have severe sightings anyways, but the auditors would basically tell, and when we go out to bond, the auditors would basically put in their audit finding, hey, people that are thinking about bonding with Hebron lies on its financial statements.
So it impact our bond rating.
It would make our bond rating non-existent. And that's the entire reason why we can't get a bond rating until the audit for this period is done. And if this note was not added to the financial statements, those financial statements would be inaccurate. And I don't know that we would get a bond rating.
Wow.
Not a great situation.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
And that's why we're authorizing this.
I think it's important to note too, like Rome wasn't built in a day, and there were serious, I think, structural breakdowns in how these should have been done. And I'm not happy about it. I don't think anybody's really happy about it, but I think that we need to move these forward and get these done for the reasons that have been expressed. So that's why this motion is worded a little differently than the resolutions underneath for fiscal year 25-26. And it's my sincere hope moving forward that the next finance director understands that we expect to see line item transfers in a much more timely
Yeah.
fashion.
Agreed.
Yep, agreed.
Any other questions or discussion on the first motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Ryland.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
You put it abstain.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sorry, I'm on the fence. I'm considering abstention myself. It's before my tenure. Before a lot of this.
Yeah, for me.
What is it?
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Tiffany Teely, aye. 4-1 with one abstention. Thank you. It is a tough one. I'll read the next one. Move that the town council authorize the finance department to make adjustments to bring the financial statements into alignment to include interdepartmental transfers for fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $626,102.19 as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, abstain.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Tiffany Teely, aye. 4-1 with one abstention. Thank you. Now we'll get into the resolutions for the fiscal year 25-26 line item transfers. Sean, will you read the first proposed resolution for us?
I don't know if I'm gonna get beat up like the last time.
No,
Yeah, of course. Joe.
I didn't beat you up.
You did not. I wasn't. It's the pros. No, it was a very educational. Thank you. Be resolved that in accordance with Hebron Town Charter, section 90, my goodness, I'm getting old, 6C, the Hebron Town Council approved the intra-departmental transfers for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 in the amount of $453,751.07 as presented and forward to the Board of Finance for approval.
Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. The last resolution, Jan, will you take that one for us?
I can. Be it resolved that in accordance with Hebron Town Charter, section 906D, the Hebron Town Council approved the interdepartmental transfers for fiscal year 2025 to 2026 in the amount of $329,804.43 as presented and forwarded to the Board of Finance for approval.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Passes and now it's the Board of Finance. Thank you. You can ask a question.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm assuming that at some point in the future, there will be motions for the fiscal year end 2025 as well. Obviously that year is included here on this. Make sure that those correct. And just also our next regular meeting is 4th Tuesday in June. Is there do we expect to have another one of these at your next meeting in 2 weeks? Or just the time, I'm just thinking about the timing because that will be our last regular meeting before the end of the actual fiscal year.
Yep.
So I'm just asking if
Well, I mean,
the timing is.
you're still gonna, I still expect us to have to do this one more time as part of financial closeout in
Right.
July. So, I mean,
So there's no rush. That's
no.
Yeah.
There's no rush. As far as your other question, Doug did a fantastic job
Yeah.
working with Donna to put these together
Yes,
very
thank you.
quickly.
Yes, very quickly.
And like honestly, I was expecting to have to help out, and he did everything without me, and it looked fantastic. So I have to give him props for that.
Absolutely.
But again, doing that, he's taking out of lines that he's hoping don't have unexpected expenditures before the end of the fiscal year.
Right.
There could still be, unanticipated expenditures, which would require additional line item transfers.
Yeah.
And that's why the final one happens in July as part of, book closeout. But, I don't know. I think that Doug, did a really good job. And unless we have an unexpected expenditure, I don't think that we will have another installment prior to the statement closeout. Yes. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Doug and Donna, for pulling that list together. It's necessary. It's important. It's part of good process, and we really appreciate your work on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Alrighty. Now that we've done that, we have some grant applications. So we're on item 9C, which is approve the fire department FEMA application for fiscal year 2025 assistance to firefighters grant for portable radios. So this is a fiscal year 2025 assistance to firefighters grant for 30 of them. The estimated cost is $158,311.20 with a 5% cost share to the town of $7,915.56. So what I'll do is, Claudia, if you can read that resolution, and we'll have the chief come up and answer some questions.
Be it resolved that the Hebron Town Council approve a grant application to FEMA for a fiscal year 2025 assistance to firefighters grant in the amount not to exceed $158,311.20 with a cost share by the town of $7,915.56 for the acquisition of 30 portable radios and authorize Donna Land, the interim town manager, to sign any documents necessary to apply for, accept, and receive such grant if awarded.
Right. I'll ask the chief to just come up because the next three items are his. So I figure we could have him here and, if you want to provide an overview for us and see if anyone has any questions.
So the state of Connecticut in late 21-22 opened up their digital radio system to municipalities. We actually started working on this back then. And last year, we actually started purchasing these portable radios. About $5,000 a radio, because they're dual band radios. So they operate on the state system, plus they operate on our local system too. But what's nice about these radios is their coverage and their compatibility. So being on a digital network, we get coverage in a lot of areas in town where we don't have great coverage now. So it's a coverage improvement. These portable radios with the digital system, I actually, as a state fire coordinator, I have one already, and I can talk to my counterparts down in Fairfield County on a portable radio.
Wow.
That's cool.
So the system's very robust. And because it's so robust, we can do everything with that portable radio. So a lot of our command staff have a mobile radio in their car and a portable radio. This portable radio will essentially at some point that'll be the only piece of radio equipment that we'll need. So they're very robust. Most towns around us with ARPA money actually did projects for their entire towns and purchased radios. So we're a little behind the 8 ball. But this grant would allow us to kind of get caught up to speed. Another nice thing about it too is when the state opened the system, it's open to municipalities. So Public Works could get on this radio system. Parks and Rec could use it. Emergency Management could use it. And we actually, in our 30 radios, we would actually give a radio to Public Works. We'd give a radio to the Emergency Management Director, and we'd give them to Parks and Rec. Because they will also put in we'll have our own Town of Hebron administrative talk group. So we can talk to each other. Like during a storm, I can talk to Parks and Rec, or I can talk to Public Works directly, and the Emergency Management Director can talk to all of us. So it'll be our own private little group. So the system is really cool as far as the ability to expand. And so this grant opportunity came along. Literally FEMA in true fashion. Usually they give us a couple months notice. Grants are going to open up on June 1st. Get ready. This year they sent us an email on May 19th and said, "Yeah, we're gonna open up the grant period, and it's open right now, and you have a month." So Normally we have some pregame time to get ready to talk about, okay, what are we going to apply for? Like, how much do we need? But so we're moving at a quick pace here. But these radios will drastically improve our coverage and our service, and it improves safety too. Bottom line there too. And as I mentioned too, FEMA looks at radio equipment communications as a priority item. So when we put in that application for radios versus fire hose, the radio application goes up a couple points and goes to the top of the stack. So I'm optimistic that we'll be successful. I hope. I haven't been too lucky with FEMA the past couple of years, but we're going to keep on trying, and I'm confident, or I'm very hopeful that this will be successful at this point.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions, comments for the chief before we vote?
Free money's good money.
Free money's
We
good
like
money. Okay. All right, we'll move to a vote on this one. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Tealy, aye. Thank you. So next we'll move to the grant for the fire hose. The estimated cost of the project is $70,067.40 with a 5% cost share to the town of $3,503.37. Keith, do you want to take that one?
Yep. Be it resolved that the Hebron Town Council approve a grant application to FEMA for a fiscal year 2025 assistance to firefighters grant in the amount not to exceed $70,067.40 with a cost share by the town of $3,503.37 for the acquisition of fire hose, and authorize Donna Lanza, interim town manager, to sign any documents necessary to apply for, accept, and receive such grant if awarded.
Okay, so on the fire hose, we've actually been, the past couple of years, been chipping away at it, a couple hundred feet here and there, and we're trying to standardize. There's a couple end goals. Number one, we want to standardize the manufacturer that we have. Right now, we have probably 5 or 6 different brands of fire hose. And not to get too far down into the weeds, but different brands of fire hose produce different flow rates. So the hose that we're looking at, it's actually, the brand is called Mercedes. Mercedes hose has a very low, it's called friction loss. So you can flow more water through a hose with less pressure. And what that equates to is that it's less wear and tear on the firefighter who's working the hose line. So you can flow more water puts out the fire, not pressure, more water does. And it reduces fatigue. So that's our goal, is to get all that same brand of hose, because there's right now, again, we have probably, again, 5 or 6 different brands. Some of the hose we have too is about 38 years old. NFPA recommends that you replace the hose after 20 years. So we want to kind of get caught up there as well. And then the hose, the Mercedes hose too, probably has the best warranty in the business. They have a 10-year warranty. It's a 10-year no-leak warranty. So every year we have to have our hose tested. They max out the pressure on the hose to see if it leaks or if it's going to burst. And with Mercedes hose, during that 10-year period, if there's a leak in a hose or a coupling fails, they replace it. So that's another advantage of that. So we've been working on this project for the past couple of years. We're going to divide it into 2, installments, and that's been put off a couple of times. So again, this grant would allow us to take care of it all at once. And this is actually called the FEMA Micro Grant. The most you can apply for in this grant is $75,000. So we're just under that.
Great. Questions, comments?
Love it.
Okay. We'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Tealy, aye. Thank you very much. Then our last grant here is a fiscal year 2025 staffing for adequate fire and emergency response grant. Claudia, do you have that one available? Or are you scrolling? Sean have it available?
I got it.
Wait, no, Claudia's got it, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Be it resolved that the Hebron Town Council approve a grant application to FEMA for a fiscal year 2025 staffing for adequate fire and emergency response grant in the amount not to exceed $517,000 over the next 3-year term. and authorize Donna Lanza, interim town manager, to sign any documents necessary to apply or accept and receive such grant if awarded.
Got a handout for you, with just some bullet points. Right. Thank you. I brought extras.
Thank you.
All right. So bear with me. I'm not gonna, there's 4 pages here, but I just want to hit some of the high points. So first, a safer grant is designed for assisting towns, departments in adding staffing, either adding new staffing or moving part-time personnel to full-time status. And the way the Safer Grant works, it's a staggered system. So in the first year of the grant, they cover 75% of costs. Second year, they cover 75%. Year 3, they cover 35%. And then year 4, it's up to the town to either continue or make changes to the staff. So just a couple things I wanted to hit on is, so the Hebron Fire Department, so we've been a combination fire department, which is we're both paid staff and volunteer staff. And we've been a combination department since 1982. Oh, actually, Dan Larson was one of our first full-time firefighters. So the combination model is the most viable option for our town. 100% volunteer, unfortunately, doesn't work due to our call volume and volunteerism in general. And a full-time paid department is just not a viable option for us. It's unrealistic. So this in no way would drive us in that direction. Personally, that wouldn't work here. It would be too expensive. There's no way that we could sustain that. So over the years, again, we started back in 1982 with just 2 people on during the first shift. And then over the past 6 years, as calls have gone up, our exposures have increased. We added second shift, and then we added weekend days. And then we filled the gap in the middle that we had. Where we are today is with 24/7 coverage. Mm-hmm. And so that 24/7 coverage, again, it ensures that we've got at least 2 people on the station to take that initial call, to get the ambulance or the fire truck out in a timely fashion. And then concurrent calls or secondary calls are handled by our volunteer staff, by me, by our part-time firefighter, EMT mechanic, combination of those, or if we can't assemble a crew, our mutual aid partners come in and help us out. So we're very resourceful. We're covering 37.5 square miles, 9,256 residents, which for 2 people to cover or 3 people to cover is well below national safety standards, but we do it, and we're very resourceful, and we make it work. So right now, the shifts that we would like to cover with full-time staff are covered by paid staff. They're covered by per diem staff. And, I probably sound like a broken record, but we've talked about per diem staff before. Per diem staff work at their leisure. They work when it's convenient for them. And we've struggled getting dedicated per diem staff to fill shifts. And frankly, they all have full-time jobs elsewhere. They work at their leisure. We can't order them in. We can't assign them to a specific shift every week. They work when it's convenient for them. And unfortunately, we've had a number of cases this past year where we didn't have any per diem staff sign up to work. So we've either had to have full-time staff cover shifts, which causes overtime, or I've covered it. And last year I did about 300 hours of uncovered shift myself, which is uncompensated. But it takes away from all the other duties that I have. So in both of those items, the overtime, the constant overtime, me having to fill shifts, it leads to burnout. And that's one thing that we don't want to do. We've got a great group of folks on staff right now, and we don't want to burn anybody out. So how does a safer grant, or how would a safer grant benefit the town of Hebron and the Hebron Fire Department? So the grant would enable 2 additional days to be covered by full-time staff. And again, paid personnel already cover these 2 days, so we wouldn't be adding like an extra shift, or we wouldn't be adding additional people to a shift. We would just be swapping out per diem staff with full-time staff. We'd still have 1 day a week where we would need per diem staff. That would most likely be Saturday weekend, because that's when they're mostly available. And we'd still utilize per diem staff to cover vacations or sick time when full-time staff were out. It also gives us the ability as administration to dedicate and specifically schedule these 2 people to this particular shift, whatever shift that is. But it gives more control to us, which leads to consistency and elimination of uncertainty. Again, as we're struggling to fill these shifts right now with per diem folks. Hopefully, it reduces overtime, anticipated reduction in overtime costs. Again, due to inconsistent per diem coverage, we encounter overtime. And with a lesser reliance on per diem staff, we might get some of those per diem staff to move back to volunteer status, which would hopefully give us a few more volunteers. Okay. So if we were awarded the grant, again, it would work, as I previously mentioned, first year they reimburse 75%. The 25% would be our cost share. And that 75%, that includes salary and benefits. Salary and benefits are included in that. So over the 3-year term, roughly, we were awarded the grant and we accepted the grant, which we always have the option. If we were awarded any grant, we could say, hey, you know what? We need to think about this a little bit more. We're all set. Like you can respectfully decline it. So that's an option. But if we were awarded the grant over the 3-year performance period, and it's a 3-year period, and that period starts up to 180 days after you were given the grant award. So if we got the grant award in September, we'd have 180 days from that point to go through the process and hire or move someone from per diem full time. And that's when the 3-year performance period starts. But over that 3-year period, the estimated cost, our cost for those 2 shifts, for those 2 people, salary and benefits would be about $200,000. Under the current per diem staffing model, if we just continue the way we're going now, again, those shifts are covered by paid staff. Our cost over the next 3 years would be $374,000. So again, these are rough numbers, but we'd see a savings over the 3-year term of about $174,000 if we were awarded the grant. And that savings almost would cover the next year for 2 salaries. But just to summarize, and I apologize for being long-winded, but I felt it was important to share this. So we have nothing to lose by applying. Again, we can always apply, and if we get it, we sit down and we say, hey, you know what, maybe this doesn't make sense this year, or it does. We'll do it for 3 years. We always have that option. So sizable reduction in payroll expense for the next 3 years, anticipated reduction in overtime costs, reduction in burnout of current staff and administration, and consistent, reliable shift coverage for those 2 days of the week, which we struggle with now. And again, we're not adding additional shifts. We're not adding extra people to current shifts. And our portion, our 25% the first 2 years, and our 65% the third year, we could cover that out of our per diem payroll. That's the Reader's Digest version.
Okay, thank you very much. I will open it up for questions and comments. Question?
My comment would just be, first off, thank you for the breakdown.
Yeah, no,
because this
right,
is
very helpful.
this is exactly what the accountant wants to see. And I would just ask, can we get this added to the I know when we do our final publishing of the packet online, can we get this added to it?
Yes.
Because
please.
you have a lot of great math in here, and we're talking about 4 years out, and you know how it is. Every time budget rolls around, everybody wants to have a blank slate mind, and we didn't agree to that 3 years ago. This is something that we can refer back to and say, no, the math is there. We just have to make sure that we don't, rob Peter to pay Paul, and now all of a sudden where'd the money go? That's something that I think sometimes we lose track of when we're budgeting year to year, and we're saying to ourselves, hey, we plan to put this aside so that we could extend a program from 3 years to 4 years. And now here we are cutting it. Like, we shouldn't be cutting it, because then we're not hitting our math goals. So love this. Thank
I
you.
literally put it together like yesterday, so
Incredible.
that's why I didn't get it in the packet last week.
No, that's
That's fine. It happens. Yep.
we
It's
are happy
appreciated.
to have late entries.
Yes.
Well, I just appreciate the efforts you're doing to find these grants, because it's
We're trying.
another way to help the town, and we really appreciate your efforts.
Yep.
Really. Thank you, Chief.
Right.
Just found out today about a grant available through Amazon. What you went to?
Oh,
Where they basically will write you a check, not a real check, you get an Amazon credit to purchase the merchandise.
well, that's cool.
So I'm looking at that.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Grants are good.
Grants are good. Any other questions, comments? All right, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jan Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley. Claudia Riley, aye. Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Tealy, aye.
Thank you
Thank you
guys.
very
I
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Sorry it's late, but I'm glad we got that done.
That's okay.
All right.
That's okay.
That brings us to item, goodness gracious, where am I? 9F. Draft agenda for the June 18th, 2026 regular meeting. As always, if you've got items for inclusion, please get them to Donna and Dory. That'll take us to item 9G, any other old new business. Any new business from Dory and or Donna?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. Any other new business from the council?
I don't have anything.
Thank you, Donna. Nothing from you guys. All right.
Good.
We'll move to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine in nature, which the council may not need to discuss individually and may be voted on as a group. Any council member who wishes to discuss a particular item in this section may request the chair to remove it for later discussion and a separate vote if necessary. We have two items here, the approval of minutes, May 21st, 2026 public hearing and May 21st, 2026 regular meeting. Does anyone need to separate these out? All right, I'll read the motion. Move that the town council approve the following consent agenda items and motions contained therein as if individually adopted. Approval of minutes, May 21st, 2026 public hearing, May 21st, 2026 regular meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. If you wish to abstain, Jan Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley. Claudia Riley, aye. Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Tealy, aye. Thank you very much. That brings us to liaison report. Sean, AHM.
At our next meetings, we have two applicants to the Neighborhood Assistance Act. Surprise, one of them's AHM. I'll be able to
Awesome. That's
get
great.
in touch with Tressa and we will make that happen.
Wonderful.
So that'll be next
Great.
meeting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have the Hebron Board of Education. So as most people may be aware, the Hebron Board of Education was tasked to cut another $75,000 from their budget. They do not meet until next Thursday. I'm just checking my text messages. So they will meet next Thursday to potentially discuss where those reductions will come from. And I read their last round of reductions at the last meeting. So that's what they're working on there. Board of Finance.
Board of Finance met last night.
They sure did.
They very generously did not do too deep of a rescission to our budget, which we were able to take care of tonight. They also discussed, several other things going on. The budget was the majority of it, though. What else was there on there? They set the mill rate. Yes. There was also discussion on the dual tax bills because with no budget in place, they set the mill rate equivalent to last year. And so the July tax bills will be going out with that mill rate. And then depending on what the budget eventually gets passed as, there will have to be an adjustment for the January, which will be it could be no difference, or it could be a significant difference. We don't really know at this point. But it may not be the same number that people are used to with a normal 50-50 split on their bills. So, normally we would say this year there's an increase of $100. So $50, they've seen an increase of $50 in their first bill, $50 in their second bill. On their tax bills this year, they will see no difference between this tax bill and their, January 2026 bill, but they may see, depending on what it is, a more significant difference on their January 2027 bill. So just something for residents. It's not an accounting error. It is actually how things will be done because of the timing on the referendum.
Can I just add something to that?
Please.
So the we just learned this today from the tax collector's office, that the personal property tax bills will not be sent out in July, or they won't be sent out until we have a budget, because those are only billed once a year, and they've been advised that we should wait until we have the true mill rate once a budget is passed. So the personal property tax bills will come out later. So in July, we'll be mailing the motor vehicle and that first installment of the property tax bills.
Got it.
Thank
Good
you.
to know. Thank you.
Anything else?
Makes it sound like a 10-minute meeting.
It was not a 10-minute.
It was not a 10-minute.
And it was not even a unanimous vote on some of their votes. So, I got to give it to the Board of Finance. It's a very difficult decision. They have a lot of things that they need to consider.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for moving things along in this process.
Yes. Agreed. Thank you. Right. Open space and WPCA. Jan, do you have anything for us?
I do not. We have not met. So next week,
Okay.
next time I'll have something for you guys.
All right, sounds good. And then Claudia, anything from Ren?
I don't have anything for other than they did make their adjustments to their portion of their budget a few days ago. A few people know went down over there.
All right. Understood. Okay, it brings us to item 12, which is public comment. Same rules apply as before. Is there any in-person public comment?
And Chair McManus, 169 North Street, Hebron, Connecticut. A request for future discussion when we talk about unallocated fund, or I'm not even sure what the name is. I never hear a number. How many millions of dollars are we talking about? And that's important for me as a citizen to understand the context of the discussion that's going on. I don't know what it is. I just would like to hear it when you're talking about it. Point 2, Sean, your earnest request for public participation, I hear. It's been said an awful lot over the last 6 months. But there's a problem. I'm going to use myself as an example, not because I want to apply for the school board position, but if I were, I'm unaffiliated. I have no wish to be approved by either party. That's why I am unaffiliated. The charter allows for unaffiliated applications, so I wouldn't even put in my interest for that position, knowing that neither party would endorse me. The reason I bring this up now, I'm not whinging on this, but essentially the greater provider, or the more people in this town are unaffiliated. So the process that we're following right now is really not available to the greater majority of the people in this town. I think we're losing an awful lot of possible talent that may want to serve on these boards. Point 3, you allow public comment in the beginning. That's great. What's really great is you allow public comment now, so I can sit through, digest what you're saying, and then bring up points like what I'm doing right now. If that had been there last night, things that transpired since last night would have been said at that meeting. And they weren't. It's a horrible way to communicate. But still, a citizen has to figure out a way to communicate. So kudos on the way you're running your meeting now. And thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board.
Thank you. Any other in-person public comment? Okay, I see we have one person with their hand raised, so you can go ahead and unmute and just say your name and your street address, please.
Okay, Chris Sear, 49 Scarborough Road. I would just like to make a quick comment as it relates to the Board of Ed appointment. I want to encourage, respectfully of course, that anyone interested completely ignores the advice from Councilor Pettit and as echoed by the entire town council. You do not need to be an RRD to be involved in your local government. They spoke to an archaic and frankly idiotic precedent. You also do not need to involve the uniparty town committees for consideration either. That is completely unnecessary. Especially when in our town the U's, I's, and L's outnumber both the R's and D's. We don't need them. So write your town manager with your interests in who should be considered for your qualifications, not the political party you're affiliated with. The mess we're in locally, at the state level, and especially nationally, is due to these dated, closed-minded, and exclusionary practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other online public comment? Okay, seeing none, we now will go into executive session.
We invite in.
We are inviting in Donna and Dory, so she's in her family. Not yet, Mallory, not yet. We have to say the motion first,
And we also have to vote.
and we also have to vote, so hold on.
So I move that the town council enter into executive session at 9:17 and invite in Donna Lanza and Dory Wolf, thank you, for portions thereof.
All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right, you're now entering executive session. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
9:34.
9:34.
Are we taking action as a result of? We are.
We are. I've got a motion ready.
Awesome.
Sure.
Right, and we are coming out of executive session and we will be taking an action. I move that the Hebron Town Council approve the contract between the town of Hebron and the Hebron Town Supervisors Union Local 818-57 AFSCME Council 4 AFL-CIO, July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2029 as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay, or if you wish to abstain. Jim Lawrence.
Jim Lawrence, aye.
Claudia Riley.
Claudia Riley, aye.
Keith Pettit.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Sean Fitzgerald.
Sean Fitzgerald, aye.
Myself, Tiffany Teely, aye. Thank you. And that takes us
Motion
to
to adjourn, 9:35.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, Donna.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful